Here we go, third take. Might have to slow it down a little bit. My notes are all over the place on this next artist. Key West Intermezzo at number 11 by John Mellencamp, his last top 40 hit. That would be it. But boy, he had an illustrious singing career the past 17 years before 1996, and I'll get into that in just a minute. John Mellencamp is from the album called Mr. Happy Go Lucky. Went to number 14. Well, at least it was top 20 on Billboard's Hot 100. Did respectably well. Number 11 on my fantasy playlist. Man, it all started out. The thing about John Cougar was that he was a roots rocker. He came from the heartland. Even had a recording studio in the heartland of America. That was John Cougar Mellencamp. Farm Aid, the fast wheat fields, the farms, his heart and soul, the fairs in the small towns, the circuses in the small towns, small town, middle America, the heart and soul of John Cougar. He incorporated the fiddle, the auto harp, the accordion in his records, put them on almost equal footing with the electric guitar, bass guitar, and the drums. It started in the late 70s in New York City. He went to New York City and boy, he ran into some, ooh, my goodness. Well, it looked good at first. Mellencamp, he met a guy named Tony DeFries. Tony DeFries, the manager of David Bowie. Phenomenal guy, well, in positive and negative ways behind the scenes. He also launched the solo careers or helped launch the solo careers of Iggy Pop, Mark Ronson, and Lou Reed. And he didn't really help out John Cougar Mellencamp that much. For one thing, well, Johnny Cougar, he worked on John Cougar Mellencamp worked on his album, his first album, a combination of standards, of covers and original songs. But here's the thing. Tony DeFries or somebody in New York told John Cougar, said, "Man, you sound like a hillbilly." John Cougar was like, "I am a hillbilly." And Tony DeFries was like, "Well, if that's the case, then we're going to change your name to Johnny Cougar." Johnny Cougar, that's a cheesy name. I can't call myself Johnny Cougar. What kind of name is that? You make me sound like a redneck. Or, well, something like that. I just made that part of it up right there, the redneck part. And Tony DeFries was like, "Well, you take it or leave it. If you leave it, we're not going to put your album out." First album by Johnny Cougar, his first album, Chestnut Street Instant, put out in 1977. Sold 12,000 copies. That's it. Bombed. His next album, The Kid Inside, came out with a new album, The Kid Inside, 1978. Tony DeFries refused to release it. Wasn't released. MCA Records dropped Johnny Cougar. Boy, you talk about some breaks, some bad breaks. But then he got a good break. Johnny Cougar met a guy named Billy Gaff, Rod Stewart's manager, and he advised John Cougar to move overseas. He moved to London, and he worked on his new album, worked on his third album. It's called Biography. Biography featured a record called I Need a Lover, which went to number one in Australia. Well, Johnny Cougar's next album was called John Cougar. And that song, I Need a Lover, was put on that album in 1979. And that's when I was first introduced to John Cougar. I remember listening to I Need a Lover on Casey Kasem's Top 40 Countdown. I was rooting for that record every week. Number 40 one week, maybe number 34 the next week. I'm like, man, this has got to go top 20, top 10. This song rocks, man. I Need a Lover won't drive me crazy. I like the breakdown near the end of the song where it's just him singing and the drums banging in the background. But I only got as high as number 28. But that's okay. That started his career. 1980, it was this time. In 1981, Ain't Even Done with the Night. Then 1982, Hurt So Good, Jack and Diane. Fall of 83, Crumbling Down. 1984, Little Pink Houses for Me and You. 1985, Small Town and Lonely Old Night. 1986, ROCK in the USA. In 1987, Paper and Fire. 1988, Cherry Bomb. Just boom. John Cougar. John Cougar Mellencamp. And Tony DeFries did not like Mellencamp. He thought the name was just too ponderous, just kind of awkward. So let's change it to Johnny Cougar. Hey, if you want to be a country boy, we'll do it for you, Johnny Cougar, something like that. Well, I guess that's it. I'm done. Key West Intermezzo, his last hit record. At number 11 on my fantasy playlist, October 26, 1996. Take care.